Hello, everybody. Welcome to week eve before election day. That's right. 1 week from today, Tuesday, we're going to have a dramatically changed United States, my prediction. Perhaps two African American governors in Florida and Georgia, maybe even a new mayor in Oakland, although I preach stability, so I'm for the maintenance of a city ran by the current mayor, but I understand those who want to switch. Politics is fun. Also brings out the weirdness in everybody. That's why it's just great to get away for a bit and talk about the business of sports. And what better subject to talk about locally, because I'm not done talking about it. I took last night to attend to some business, so I apologize for not being on. But the Golden State Warriors, ironically enough, on the same day that they really more than won on court, Klay Thompson set the NBA record for three-pointers in a single game with 14. And the Warriors just plain crushed. There's no other way to put it than that. Just plain crushed the Chicago Bulls. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what kind of shirt this is, Super Bowl from the Super Bowl in New York. But I digress. But off court and into the court of another kind, the court of law. There are a lot of courts. There's the court of public opinion. There's your court of view. There's my court of view. But in this instance, the only court that mattered was the one, really the arbitrator. And the arbitrator ruled that, hey, the Golden State Warriors had to play the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Joint Powers Authority $4 million. Hey, unknown Raider guy, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, as I say. In fact, I'm really excited to tell you that I'm going to go back to the format of having a lot of guests on from different walks of life and getting back to the fun, because a lot of this is, I think, hey, ML, how are you? Has been, and this, of course, is my show. It's all my fault, but dragged down by the sorrow and the pain of watching this Raider deal unfold so clumsily, right? We got to get back to having some fun, man. So I'm going to have some unusual guests coming up. I promise you that. Maybe a actor here, a fitness model there. You never know, a lawyer over here, but I want to mix it up. You know, I want to have some, I want people to come here and feel like they're really going to have a good time rather than, oh, Paul, oh, okay. Hey, Tervell Johnson, how you doing, my man? I like saying that name. His name is spelled Tervell, Tervell. So you have a Tervell Johnson and Sean Watson right behind each other. That sounds like PGA golf. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. And so I'm going to get out something right out of the way. Okay, Vegas Stadium is going up. The Raiders haven't made any business dealings regarding sponsorship that they're going to announce. In fact, I'm actually typing something just to see if there's anything that I may have missed. The mainstream media is really bad at covering this, and of course, the mainstream media is basically collapsed into nothingness. It's not what it used to be, and so there's no news. In fact, the only thing is, soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders dive into Southern Utah as sponsor of something else. All right, a golf tournament. But did they land a sponsor for themselves? I don't see that one. I mean, right? I don't see anything. Sponsor pitch has a page entitled Oakland Raiders, but I can't see. It says ready to research Oakland Raiders and disclose 10,000 national properties. I'm saying yes, I'm ready to find them. So I got to sign up there, but I can't see the news. It's not telling me anything. Raisin Cane partners with Oakland Raiders. That's a deal. And let's see here. That was 2017 of last year. DraftKings partners with the Raiders. That was 2015. And then Nationwide Insurance partners with the Oakland Raiders. That was 2015 as well. Frito-Lay signs with Oakland Raiders. That was 2014. Nike signs with deals with Oakland Raiders. That was also 2014. USAA sponsors Raiders. That was 2014. So according to, I mean, I'm certain there's more that's gone on since then, but boy, they're awfully quiet about what's happening here. All right. And it says that supposedly Legends Hospitality is getting more involved in the Raiders' move to Vegas. But where are they? All right. What's Legends Hospitality doing? If we type Legends Hospitality in Google and we go and search Legends Hospitality Raiders Las Vegas, what will we find? We will find nothing. Ties grow between Raiders, Jerry Jones, Las Vegas. Okay, fine. What if we click on news? What do we find? We will find nothing. International Gaming Institute, Legends Hospitality, same thing. The Raiders are moving in Las Vegas and it stinks. That was March 29th, 2017. That was just last year. Okay, so how about Legends Hospitality without just the Raiders and Las Vegas leaving it? All right, nothing. There is nothing. All right. How about Legends Hospitality on its own? Let's see what's the news for Legends Hospitality. News that we should know. Women files lawsuit. I'm not making this up. This is what popped up. Woman files lawsuit claiming she was forced into strip and cavity search. The lawsuit is filed against several people in places including Legends Hospitality, LLC, Apex Security Group, in Cumberland Stadium. This is in Nashville. Okay. So this is kind of juicy. Let's take a look at this. All right. This is the flip side of sport. Woman files lawsuit, claims she was forced into strip and cavity search at Titans game. And plaintiff asked Apex security guard Jane Doe 2 what she was looking for, and Jane Doe 2 said she did not know exactly. She was just doing what John Doe ordered her to do. Ooh. A former bartender inside Nissan Stadium is suing several people in organizations. She said that she was discriminated against because of her race when she was accused of taking money and then forced into a strip and cavity search. The lawsuit is filed against several people in places including Legends Hospitality, Apex Security Group, Cumberland Stadium, and Tennessee Football Incorporated, doing business as the Tennessee Titans. All individuals listed in the lawsuit are named as either John Doe or Jane Doe. In the lawsuit, the woman said she was working. Now, what this doesn't mention, okay, is her color. But this sounds like a black woman was harassed by white folks working in sports. And that's something that the Raiders are going to have to really guard against, having workers who are African American harassed and treated inappropriately at the new stadium. And if Legends has this kind of pattern, right, and we're reading about it, that should serve as a little bit of a red flag that says, hey, folks, going forward, you might want to think about this. Anyway, it says after a game she said a manager of Legends Hospitality pointed her out. Now, this is at WSMV.com, okay? And anyway, it says after a game, she said a manager for Legends Hospitality pointed her out to an off-duty Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper working security. The woman said that Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper asked her if she had taken anything from Legends. When she said no, the woman said the trooper asked the woman with Apex Security Group to take her in the bathroom stall of a room. Ooh. She said a strip and cavity search happened without her consent. That's bad. Okay? That is bad. The lawsuit describes an encounter where the woman asked the security guard what she was looking for, and the guard responds she didn't know exactly. She was just doing what the trooper ordered her to do. The lawsuit goes on to say nothing was found, and the woman's tip jar was also searched. That's badder. That's badder. She also said the Legends manager then told her she was free to go home. The woman said she was singled out because she's black, and she doesn't believe the two white women working with her were searched like this, and they probably weren't. A rep for Tennessee Highway Patrol told Moose 4 they don't comment on pending litigation. Legends Hospitality, LLC, Apex, and Tennessee Titans did not respond by news time. Among her requests, the woman is seeking loss of income, saying she wasn't able to return to work after this happened. Hey, something else regarding Legends. Just want to clue you in on a little bit of Something to think about, okay? The NFL draft is going to be held where? Next year. That's right. Nashville at Nissan Stadium. Okay. Where was the NFL draft held this year? Dallas, Cowboy Stadium. Which organization is responsible for hospitality set up in Dallas? It's Legends, right? Now, which organization is responsible for hospitality in Nashville? It's Legends. So it seems Jerry Jones is really getting a lot of work, from the National Football League in different ways. I mean, he's got a good gig going. Most expensive team in the NFL, gets on the Hall of Fame, manages to gin up new sponsorships, and then he's getting suddenly the NFL event work. And he's got his hands in Las Vegas. Ooh. All right. Reading your comments now. Starting with, I'm actually going up. I'll work with the most recent, and I'll go up. Joe Santos says, was it me or was it kind of empty? Lots of open seats. And that is in response to ML Scott saying, I have a couple of picks for you that I took on the way home of the Rams Stadium progress. Send them. Unknown Raider guy says, Raider Nation love for life. Black Lion says, it was nice to see all the fans of the game on Sunday. John Santos says, the Colts fans took over the Coliseum in the fourth quarter. Vegas will be worse. Hey, did you see how the Packers fans managed to storm the Rams lair? And that was, hey. Billy Jones says, Unknown Raider guy says to Billy Jones, actually, Rams doing good is the problem in LA. The problem with the Chargers, they don't have their own stadium. Billy Jones says, Oakland will regret going to Vegas like Chargers or Rams will regret going to LA. No home field advantage. Muhammad Ahmad, thank you for the email, by the way. Muhammad says, I thought Legends had the concessions contract in the new stadium. You are correct. They do. One love, Black Lion. Muhammad says, it would be cool if you got EJ Manuel or Antonio Rogers on the show. That is a good idea. John Santos says, actually, it's busy yesterday when I went town square to buy a Bo Jackson jersey. John Akatla, how you doing? And so I'm going backward. John Santos says, Raiders storm in Vegas are dead. Really? No Raider guy says, get Bay Area legend MC Hammer on here. Great idea. He claims to be a friend of mine. He owes me. Okay, so I got all the comments out of the way up until Cowboy Wrestler just arrived, says, hey, good evening. Hey, how you doing, Cowboy Wrestler? Welcome to the show. Now, I want to see if there are any comments that we may have missed. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to check the NFL communication site and talk about what is happening. And by the way, tickets are on sale for the 2019 Pro Bowl, and you can get yours should you want to get them, should you want to go. And see the NFL's top stars in action. I think that would be a capital idea, So hold on a second. Let's see here. All right. What I'm doing here is a little bit of waiting for things to open up that should open up faster than they do. Okay. That's what I'm waiting for, folks. Okay. And it's funny how things don't work on cue. Have you ever noticed that? Things just don't work quite like you want them to, when you want them to. Oh, by the way, Money's Inglewood Stadium from the north. I wish I had the only way for if I could do this is, have two cameras and then show you what he sent. Let me figure that out because I was reacting to something like, awesome. Okay. At any rate, okay. How about great negotiations going really, really well? I love it. Now, what was I looking for here? Oh, I was looking for, excuse me. I was looking for. Nope, didn't see it. Oh, wait a minute. Not there. What's that? Trying to find something, folks, and it is not appearing for me where it should be. So, try it here. While I'm doing this, I'll say I thought it was good that the NFL did not make any. Excuse me, the Raiders didn't make any changes, and in terms of excuse me, and the reason is that they made enough changes to the locker room as it is, and just doing more trades would just simply have, I think, put the team in a psychological tailspin. More players coming in that have to learn a system and in the middle of a season, and the coaching staff doesn't seem to have down how to teach the players how to be at their best in the current system. How the heck are they going to teach anybody that's new how to be at their best in a system that they demonstrably cannot teach their current crop of players to win within, right? So it's just spiral. It was a good idea. They did absolutely nothing. All right. I mean, it really was. So, okay, don't have a listing of the trades there at NFL.com. What we have, however, is Oakland Raiders 1-6 at San Francisco 49ers 1-7. A battle of ones. Let's call it the battle of ones, okay? And I was going to do this tomorrow, but I'll do this today. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, all right, we've got regular season history. Last week, both basically took a L. It's Kyle Hannish. It's the offensive geniuses. It's the battle of the would-be offensive geniuses that are basically at this time not doing well. John Gruden versus Kyle Shanahan. How about that? Okay. That's what you've got. You've got Derek Carr versus CJ Beathard. Doug Martin. You have Matt Breida as the running back. He makes third in the NFL with 5.8 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. So basically, you have the Niners going with a strong running game against the Raiders, which, hey, look, actually, the Raiders haven't been that bad at stopping the run. They've been okay. All right. But it's through the air where they've had their problems of late. But all right, so that's the marquee game Thursday night. Now, let me ask everybody this question: who's going to the game? Now, while I get answers to that question, I'll go back and hey, all these folks in here with comments. Black Lion says, Joe Santos says that the Colts fans took over the Coliseum in the fourth quarter. Raiders will be worse. Vegas will be worse. I said that before, but it bears repeating because I agree with him. And then Unknown Raider guy says, Raider Nation love for life, excuse me. And ML Scott says, I have a couple of picks for you. I got that one. I mentioned that as well. Joe Santos says, was it me or was it kind of empty lots of open seats? Good question. I wasn't there. I was here, where I'm at right now. Black Lion says, it was shockingly packed, the Coliseum. We have the best fans in the world. And I did say good evening to Cowboy Wrestler, to which I repeat that. And Cowboy Wrestler Fire is back with Black Lion Supreme. Don't be surprised, however, the crowds at the Alameda get smaller as the season goes on. There's a high probability this is the Raiders' last season in Oakland. Where are the Raiders going? And, where are they going? Billy Jones says, do you think Carr will be the quarterback next year? I think that this is something that I would like to see because I believe the person I'm about to mention needs to be rescued, although it may not happen. I would love to see Jameis Winston in silver and black. I think he would be an outstanding quarterback in Gruden's system. And I even think that if they can shore up the defensive problems, the Raiders can march to the Super Bowl. My concern is whether or not the Raiders could actually afford Jameis Winston. But I'm willing to give the Raiders the benefit of the doubt here. I understand tactily the mistakes they're making in Vegas. I still contend that the upside of the deal there is the gambling revenues and the fact that they're working with some of the experts in the field. If they can get the NFL to relax their rules, I think the Raiders could come out of this smelling like a rose. I really do. Okay. There's a lot to be gained if that deal is done properly. And I say that with a big if. Okay. And so for those of you watching who have this idea that I have this dream that the Raiders aren't going anywhere and all this, no, the deal is crappy. What I do point out are possible collapses in the deal that could lead them to not go anywhere. It is possible. All right. This is not set in stone. This isn't something. The permanence of this deal is illusory. Okay. There is a lot that can and already has gone wrong. The biggest problem with the deal, as I've said before, is the fact that the stadium tax revenue is not coming in at the rate that the consultants said it would. And that money is being collected by the Raiders in a pay-go process until April of next year, when the monies are shifted to pay off the bond issue or start paying off the bond issue. And right now there are roughly $1 million, almost $1 million less, excuse me, $513,000 less per month in terms of what they need to retire the bond debt when you consider multiplying that debt times 1.5, which is the debt coverage ratio. That's what you have to do. If you don't do that, the community, the investment community is going to go ape. They're going to downgrade the bond. And that's bad for everyone around because it makes the bond even that much more expensive and ensures the possibility that the general fund of Clark County will have to be dipped into. Now, okay, so Billy Jones says, my opinion, no. Sean Watson says, what do you think if Al Davis is still alive, would he move again? I don't believe Mr. Davis would even take on this. One stop would say, who's going to win the Battle of the Bay? And let me finish that. The reason why I don't believe Mr. Davis would, I understand what Mark says, but look, I disagree. The reason why Mark wants this is Mark wants no ties to the past. By contrast, his father was all about the past. Like, do you know who Fred Swearingen is? Go to Google right now, okay? And type Fred Swearingen and NFL, okay? In NFL, Fred Swearingen, NFL. And if you type Fred Swearingen NFL, then type Fred Swearingen Raiders. Okay. Fred Swearingen was the referee for the Three Rivers Immaculate Reception contest, right? All right. He passed away April 7th of last year. Rest in peace. He is a name, Fred Swearingen, that will forever live in the brain of Raider fans. If you're a true Raider fan, you know that the name Fred Swearingen is really important. Even if you don't know exactly why that name is important, you know that name is important. Al Davis was all about Fred Swearingen, like Walt Coleman in the Broncos game. I think there was the guy that called them. I remember, and I was really ticked off about this. There was the guy that called the pass interference against, I believe it was Lester Hayes in the 1977 AFC Championship game, 77 season AFC Championship game, that sent the Broncos off to New Orleans to play in the Superdome against the Dallas Cowboys. I felt it should have been the Raiders. I believed then, I tell you now, decades later, the Raiders got screwed by the refs at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Okay, I will never forget that game and Haven Moses running that little damn Q pattern that, really is the kind of pattern you want to use against the two-pick teep like that, right? It worked like a charm. But the bottom line is, and Craig Morton threw it really well, But what set that up was a pass interference call that should never have been. All right. And, oh, okay. It's that kind of memory that is in the head of Mr. Davis. He's not going to just yank his team out of Oakland because there are too many great events. There are too many great happenings in sport. There are too many great actions in sport. Too many great marks in NFL history that have happened because of the Oakland Raiders. And to just yank the team out of Oakland and think you're going to replicate that in Las Vegas, it ain't happening, okay? I don't care how nice the stadium is. Yeah, I don't care how you change the fan base, which is the big problem. It is not happening. Any genius would want to bottle up what we had and keep it right there, okay? Did I just go on a rant? Anyway, all right. Excuse me there. So anyway, Sean Watson, there's my rant answer to your question. Not rat answer, rant answer, okay? One Stop says, who's going to win the Battle of the Bay Thursday? Who's going to win? You mean which Battle of the Bay? The battle that occurs in the stands between the Niner fans and the Raider fans, or the battle that occurs on the field? Let me think about that one while I scroll down and read the rest of these comments. John Akala says, Raider fans still coming out to Raider home games to almost sell-out crowd despite their bad record, shows fan loyalty in Oakland. And he has the comment of the night. John Akala wins the prize. One day it's actually going to be a real prize. Muhammad says, Levi Stadium will be packed with Raider fans. Unknown Raider guy says, John Akala, Raider Nation everywhere. Black Lion says, if they're moving, I don't want to see them in Oakland another season. Cowboy Wrestler says, Black Lion, NFL needs bylaws now. Black Lion says, just like it didn't happen in LA, responding to my rant. And Unknown Raider guy says, there's a lot of Raider fans in Las Vegas. Sean Watson says, NFL hates the Raiders, he thinks. Billy Jones says, not any of us if you watch. I'll be watching. By the way, folks, special programming note, I will have a special guest on this stream live Thursday night. Actually, two special guests. First, running for Oakland City Council, and that will be Pamela Harris, Oakland City Council District 4. And then No Gallo, current District 5 Oakland City Council member. We're going to talk sports. So I'm really excited about that. The roll continues. Hey, Barry Lee, how you doing? Barry Lee says, by the way, hello from Central Texas Medical Center. Whoa, that is huge. You are actually, now, Black Lion says, the NFL packs and chooses when to enforce their laws. Yeah. Let me go back and out of respect for ML Scott, look at what he was kind enough to send me and take a photograph of it because I was thinking through how I would, do that, right? And, this is good looking stuff. Maybe I can take a picture of this because I don't have my external to do it like that, right? But if I have this, I can take a photo of it, and then that's one he showed me. And here's another. This thing is really coming along. It's taking shape. It's got that sort of look of permanence, right? And here's another. Ooh, yeah, that's a great one. This thing is beginning to, I think, is another. Yeah, here's another one. There's another. And that's it. Okay. Thank you, ML Scott. This is what he sent. If you can, if I go to photo, and then here, I don't know if you can see this. If I turn it like that, maybe I can, if I tap it like that, maybe if I turn it this way, or maybe if I turn it this way, maybe if I enlarge it a bit, then maybe if I put it up close like that. Oh, there we go. See that? There we go. All right. So that's one. Pretty cool, huh? You can see how you can get an idea of how big it is. Okay. All right. That's one. Here's another. Let's see here. This is another. see if we can get this close. See that? Right there. Bring it up close and personal. It's beginning to look like, the Greek columns from a distance, but, to give you an idea of how big this thing's going to be, all right, this right here, there's going to be a roof over that. So this thing's going to really rise and be a huge, what. Here's another. Okay. This is progressing along much faster than Vegas. Of course, they started earlier. And finally, here's this one. Okay. And they're not going to open until 2020. Okay. Thank you, ML. Very cool. Thank you very much, ML Scott. Much appreciated. Cowboy Wrestler, that is Inglewood Stadium. And Cowboy Wrestler says prior to that, Black Lion Supreme, if bylaws existed the National Football League, greedy owners like Spanos and Davis would be forced out. Billy Jones says Oakland should learn from Niners' mistakes. Sean says, who's voting for mayor? My choices for mayor are Oakland Mayor Libby Schaff, Cat Brooks, number 2, because I'm ranked choice voting. Okay. Number 3, I still haven't decided yet. I am leaning toward either Saeed Kamaruz or Marshawn Tatman. Saeed, this is his second go-around. What I like about Saeed is that he really, first of all, he was the first person to get in the questionnaire that I sent out to the candidates. If you want to know what the candidates think, go to oaklandnewsnow.com, right? And whatever you want, click on the upper corner on the candidate questionnaire. You can find out where their positions are. They've made that specially for me. I really appreciate it that they took the time to do that. Saeed really thoroughly answered them. Marshawn is new, but Marshawn Tatman is a natural born leader. He really is. He has that quality about him. However, he's well, I don't think it has anything to do with his being 34. Frankly speaking, he could win, and I think he would do well as the mayor of Oakland. I really do. He would rapidly grow into the position just as he rapidly grew into being a candidate. So I'm trying to decide between the two of them. Saeed does not have that quality about him in terms of that it factor, because Saeed doesn't. I mean, he's nice. He's a great guy, but he doesn't seem to have that thing that reaches out and brings you in. Okay, that just says, "Hey." I mean, just by his presence. All right, so that's a big difference. He could do that, but there's a part of Saeed that at times seems a little afraid. He's still too much of the wonk. You know what I mean? So you can have the answers, but if you don't have that something that makes people want to follow you to the ends of the earth, it doesn't kind of matter. Everybody can have that something. It's just a matter of having confidence in yourself. Marshawn is building that confidence. Now, Cat Brooks has it. She's the number 2. Cat Brooks could step in and be a great mayor. I really believe that. She could win. It could happen. We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see. So anyway, what do you think? Going back through your comments, and what else did I miss? Oh, here. The narrator guy says, Billy Jones, actually the Niners still in the San Francisco Bay Area market. Yep. Barry Lee says, I'm telling you now, heart surgery for stent placement isn't fun. You're back in the hospital for that? Holy shit, I thought you were at work. Oh, man. Hey, just a prayer for Barry Lee to overcome this. Sorry, Barry Lee. Wow. Jeez, man. Cowboy Wrestler says, Billy Jones, with that, with that saying, I'm not a fan of the 49ers location in Silicon Valley. Billy Jones says, but Santa Clara doesn't feel the same. No, it does not. Underrated guy says, get well, hashtag get well Barry Lee. I second that. Cowboy Wrestler says Billy Jones. I know it doesn't. But believe me, once they start winning again, it will feel better. I don't know. I don't know. John Collins says, hope everything goes well in your surgery, Barry Lee. Black Lion says, CW, the NFL has laws in place to stop what is happening in Oakland and didn't force them on Mark Davis. Barry Lee says, yes, sir. Cowboy Wrestler says, Black Lion. Well, that's very unfortunate. Hey, Barry Lee, how did this start, man? Because, look, I got to say, and I don't want to put Barry Lee out there, but this man has been in the hospital at least, 3 times since last year when I started this show. So Barry Lee in Malconton. Hey, Malconton, how you doing? Barry Lee says, I hope you're getting good treatment and advice from your doctors and nutritionists. As you know, those stints are only a temporary fix. Hashtag cause and effect. Barry Lee, what's going on? Because, I mean, you got this great new job and I think you moved to a new place. And what was it, just the stress of the transition? Is it diet? You're not smoking, right? What is it that, what's going on, man? Just give us a view so we can you got 36 people on here, probably have some genius doctor among them. What's happening? Tell us your story, my friend. What's going on? Maybe I should call you. Are you callable? I think I have his number here. Are you callable? Will you put you on the speaker, find out what's going on? Barry didn't respond. Barry says, yes, sir, I have heart problems thanks to my dad and his side of the family. It's probably all the fast food that I eat. See, stay away. You know what? I'll tell you what, I've eaten a Big Mac twice, 3 times in 15 years, okay? The most recent was this year, and man, that thing was nasty. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. I used to love the Big Mac when I was little, but never with cheese. But that whole thing about 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, wait a minute. I used to remember this by heart. Okay. 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Boom. Yeah, it sounds good, right? But the special sauce, it's got some milky substance in it the onions they put on it, it's like, I don't like it, okay? I love the Angus burgers that the McDonald's was putting out. But even then, I'm just not a big McDonald's either. I'd rather eat clean. And that's my advice to you, Barry. Eat clean. Eat salads, all right? Eat salads. Cowboy Wrestler says, Black Lion, maybe you can start a new football league and rival the NFL. One of our first goals will be to put a team in Oakland. Barry Lee says, yesterday's stint that they put in me made number 7 since 2012. 7 stints since 2012. Wow. Billy Jones says, hey, Barry, what part of Texas are you in? Malconton says, Barry, I strongly recommend you search for the books and advice of cardiologists Dr. William Davis and Dr. Asim Malhotra. Both are awesome. Miguel Nunquist, the Mac sauce, talking about the Big Mac. Yeah, the special sauce. I'm not down with the special sauce. Black Lion says, I laugh out loud. I'm going to hold you to that, CW. Jay Boogie says, except the fries. No, the fries are great. I love McDonald's fries. Oh, yeah, you're saying, I get you. Black Lion says, drink water, Barry Lee. Drink tons of water. 8 glasses. Barry Lee says, Billy, I'm near Austin, Texas, and San Marcos at the hospital. Bahamas Dale, Texas. And Miguel says, I know the recipe. Yeah, you know the recipe. Yeah. Barry Lee, stay away from fast food, man. I will say this. Hey, Barry Lee, let's just drill this down a bit. What fast food outlets are you going to or eating from? Because, hey, Detective John. But when you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can't see actually, you can now. You can see the list. Detective John Kimball. In and out, baby. Ding. Every time I see the name Detective John Kimball, I think of Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. No, it's like Lieutenant Dan, Detective John. It's something that sort of like, rhythmically goes together. Anyway, Billy Jones says, I'm familiar with that area. Okay. Oh, John Acosta says, I'm still eating out a lot despite my age of 58. I'm 56, and I'm eating clean. I eat, particularly here, Mom cooks, because Mom is a cancer survivor and 84. We eat a lot of fruit. She and insists I eat fruit here. I haven't had, I think, one drink of alcohol, and that was back in the Bay Area. And even then, that was like maybe what? That was that wasn't even alcohol. That was no. I had one vodka cran and water back at the alley, and then I had cranberry juice at the alley, and I just lost my taste for alcohol. So that's the other thing, Barry. Don't drink. Barry Lee says I don't. He doesn't drink and smoke. Awesome. Barry says double quarter but pounder with cheese is his favorite. Oh, stay away. Salad. Get a salad. Get salads and vegetables, man. Although the fact that Barry Lee you don't drink or smoke is a plus. Do you work out? Do you go to the gym? Get a trainer. One Stop says fruits and vegetables. Absolutely. Is apples, berries. I'll tell you the antioxidant, you know, antioxidant offering. Get as much broccoli in your system as you can. Broccoli, spinach, onions, okay, chicken, green and red bell peppers, all right, a little rice on the side or salad, right? Berries and beets. As much antioxidants as you can. Green tea is excellent. To keep your blood pressure low, I recommend hibiscus tea really daily. Hibiscus tea is the best to get your blood pressure down. It really is. And okay, Min Forever asks a question, kind of getting us off that. He says, "Oh wait, well, but not you will." Unknown Raider guy says you will love In-N-Out. Hey, where's the In-N-Out in Las Vegas? Unknown Raider guy. Pedro Raider Hernandez, how you doing? He says, "What if I was in Texas? I would go out at a Whataburger with jalapeno. Whataburger. That sounds pretty good. That sounds really good. You can eat well. I'm not dissing burgers. You can eat well with a burger and have, broccoli in the burger and getting really hungry again. You can have it with tomatoes. Tomato is another antioxidant. One Stop says fruits that lower blood pressure. Absolutely. MM Forever says, are the Bills that bad? Yeah, they are. Okay. This is really now. Everybody's has it. Patrick M. Blackman, how you doing? Barry Lee says he loves apple smoothies. One Stop says fruits that lower blood pressure. I got that one. John Collins says I'm hooked on drinking the Bloody Mary mix with ice. Is that for breakfast? Patrick M. Blackman says peace, everybody. Mabel says garlic and green tea. Oh, and also don't forget turmeric. Turmeric tea is really great. If you can mix turmeric with hibiscus tea, you're doing even better. And ginger, okay? That's the sauce, literally. That's the magic sauce, all right? Billy Jones says, eat a veggie burger. Black Lion says, the brighter the color of the food, you eat better. Tyrrell Johnson says, you need to coach at Skyline. My two-time state champion McClymans beat them 94-0. Oh, what's going on with my Titans? MN Forever says, who you got, Niners or Raiders tomorrow? Well, technically tomorrow is, yeah. I got Jason from Friday the 13th. How's that? I'm going to take, it seems like every time I take the Raiders, they've let me down. They lost. And now they're going into the lair of Levi Stadium with a team that is more intact than the Raiders are. And really, the Raiders just don't have a good record either home or away. Neither do. They've only won one game, right? But the Niners are competitive at home. So I'm going to pick the Niners. As much as I hate to do it, I hate to go against the Raiders. I do, but it's no. You know what? I'm gonna root for the Raiders. I'm not gonna go against them. I'm sorry. I guess gotta stay on the bandwagon. I can't jump off of it. I'm gonna pick the Raiders until they let me down more. Hey, Barry Lee. Barry Lee says, have a good night. The nurses are here and just gave you some morphine. What is that? This is funny. Barry Lee says, Muhammad says there are all recipes for some Indian cures. Detective John Kimball says oats for breakfast every day, no soda. And then One Stop points out a truism that Skyline misses his old coach, John Beam. I go back to Tony Fardella days. Now, Barry Lee says, have a good night. Nurses here just gave me some morphine and it's good. Programming note, Barry Lee is high on morphine. That's hilarious. Oh my God. I wish I had somebody get a video in that guy's in the hospital. Patrick and Blackman says herbs are better, more potent when they're mixed together. Cowboy Wrestler says, I got the Niners. Blackman says, I say Raiders because we can't stand the 49ers. Yeah. Well, I can stand them, but, Unknown Raider guy says, Barry Lee, good night. Get well, brother. Cowboy Wrestler says, by the way, and I say the same. Barry Strong. Hashtag Barry Strong. Unknown Raider guy says, Barry Lee, I got that one. Cowboy Wrestler says, by the way, the original Halloween is on AMC right now. Ooh. Thank you for pointing that out. Dang it. John Acala, wait a minute. Cowboy Wrestler, are you Central Time? Because I'm on the East. John Acala says 49ers might be down to their third string quarterback. One Stop says Raiders have the better quarterback. Always go with the better quarterback. Yeah, but who has the better defense? Let's see here. Terrell Johnson says, get well soon, Barry Lee. Black Lion Supreme, laugh out loud. Cowboy Wrestler says, if the Raiders are to win a game again this season, tomorrow night's game is their best chance. Terrell Johnson says, yes, they need them, Beam. Billy Jones says, there's a chance the Niners will start the third string quarterback. If only Kane were able, let's go Oakland. Cowboy Wrestler says, Z, yes, I'm Central Time. Okay, yeah. So, all right, because it's right now almost 1 o'clock here. I'm going to stop because I've been on for a bit. I'm going to stop at 1:15. So at any rate, let me go here. I want to check. What I want to check is the NFL stats. NFL stats. And I want to check the National Football League stats, the team stats, excuse me, and see where we sit with these organizations. Because let's check the league leaders on defense. Let's check the complete list. In this game, I'm looking at the team with a better defense winning. And in that case, you've got the San Francisco 49ers have the 17th ranked defense in the league. They're giving up 29.5 points a game, an average of 236 yards per game. They have had 523 scrimmage plays. They've had 365, 200 and 236 total points, 365.4 yards a game average. Their yards per play is at 5.6. And what I'm looking for are the rushings, penalties, fumbles, yards per game. Let's see here. They've got that. Oh, yards. What's that? Yards. First, third, attempts, percentage, penalties, penalty yards, fumbles. This doesn't have the kind of breakdown I'm looking for. It's by team category. Game stats. Oh, here we go. Rushing. Okay. The rushing defensive leader is you know who leads in against the rush by team defense? The Raiders. That's right. The Raiders. The Raiders have given up. They have an average of 4.9 yards per rush, but it's a 144.7 yards per game. Okay? Per game. So the Raiders lead the entire league. The Niners are 20th. So by that, if the 49ers try to stay on the ground, the Raiders should eat them up and give themselves a chance. Now, let's see where we are with passing, okay? Passing defense. Passing defense, the Bengals are the leaders, right behind the Buccaneers. This is in team defense, okay? The Oakland Raiders are 11th. The Niners are 12th. So statistically here, the Raiders have the better defense than the Niners. Let's go to offense. And offense, let's just say regular season go. And offense, we have number one is nobody. That's weird. Got nothing. All NFL category. Nothing. Game stats. Total yards. Give me something. Okay. The Buccaneers have the number one offense in terms of total yards, followed by the Rams, followed by the Chargers. Let's see. The Raiders are 17th. The Niners are 22nd. So, you know what? Statistically, this is a game the Raiders ought to win. I'm just saying. That's how it looks statistically. All right? Of course, then there's the game plan and matchups and everything else. But statistically, this is a game the Raiders should win. Let me get to your comments. Black Lion says it's 9:55 in the Bay. Cowboy Rush says Black Lion Supreme. I miss being in the Pacific time zone. I had been trying to get someone to make a comment on the whole Warriors situation. Let me see if I can get this guy. Let me see if he's still up. This is a surprise phone call.
The mailbox belonging to.
He didn't answer his phone, so forget that one. All right. See if I can get this other guy. Another surprise call. It's late. They're all.
I reached Gustavus.
Yeah, they're late too. All right. So I can't seem to get a hold of anybody. They're all out. What do you numbskulls doing this time of night, man? You all ought to be up waiting for me to call you. What's going on here? This is awful. See if I can get a hold. Maybe he's around. Calling mobile. I'm getting nothing. All right. Whatever. Best zone in the Nation CW. Bill Jones says he plays like it hurts.
Your message.
Cowboy Wrestler says Black Lion Supreme. You know it. Mohammed says Redskins picked up Clinton Dix. Whoa, that's a good trade. Yeah. Let me see here. Let me go. There's that. There's Week 9 capsules. NFL Communications. Let's go back here. News releases. Week 9 capsules. Injury report. NFL transactions 10:30. Waiver system transactions on Tuesday. All right. So Arizona waived Blaine Cassell, Gabe Holmes, Michael Bennett, defensive tackle, gone from Atlanta. We've got the Niners got rid of Victor Bolden and Greg Maben, wide receiver and defensive back, respectively. Termination of vested veterans. Albert McClellan has gone from Baltimore as a linebacker. Dante Johnson, defensive back, has gone from Buffalo. Kevin Minter is no longer linebacker, is no longer at Tampa Bay. He went to Louisiana State. And trades, Demarius Thomas, nothing here. Golden Tate. I think this is great. Golden Tate was hired by Detroit. It was hired by the Eagles. I think that's a heck of a pickup for the Eagles. I really do. Now, Green Bay basically got rid of I think this is funny. They got rid of Ty Montgomery after that whole debacle. Sent him off to the Ravens. And as noted, Clinton Dix went to Washington. Active list additions. Zane Bettis went guard from Utah, went to Atlanta. Oakland added, we added somebody. We added from their practice squad, James Cowser, linebacker out of Southern Utah. So we moved him up from the practice squad. So reserve list additions, Will Fuller, injured reserve. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie for the Raiders. So that rounds out the notables right now for this go around. All right. So yeah, that's how that shakes out. Let me get to your comments now. Let me go back. I missed some people. Let's see here. Lee Jones says Niners last in the league in turnover margin. Jamal Mills, how you doing? Cowboy Wrestler says, hey, where's John Marks when you need him? Jamal Mills, you're a moderator. You know what to do. Knock out the knuckleheads while you're at it, okay? So Billy Jones says Niners last in league in turnover margin. Mohammed says, I hear Jelly Bean is making his return. Pedro Raider Hernandez says Niners backup quarterback wrist is hurt. Black Lion says best zone in the nation, CW. Billy Jones says he plays like it hurts. Cowboy Wrestler says the 2. Black Lion, yes, you know it. Mohammed says Redskins picked up a Ha Clinton, noted. And we got Michael Arlene says that DIC retired or something like that. And then Detective John says, maybe I'm misunderstanding you. ESPN says we're 26th in rushing yards allowed. I am, yeah, when I did it, Oakland was number 1. So I think in terms of team category for defense. So I'll go back and do that again. And I'm looking at all NFL. I'm switching over to defense category rushing regular season go. And I thought, yeah, it says Oakland Raiders number 1. All NFL defense rushing. We've given up only 144.7 yards per game. That's it. Okay. That's for rushing. So my point is, I wasn't talking about total defense. And I see what you're getting. I'm talking about in terms of category specific strengths. Are you strong against the run or are you strong against the pass? Not so much overall. And the reason why I say it that way is if a team is significantly behind and you have a team and you've given up a lot of big plays through the air, it's going to reflect that your passing game isn't as strong. Passing defense isn't as strong as your rushing defense. But if you're facing a team that has a strong rushing offense, what's your rushing defense look like? The Raiders are number 1. Okay. Now, in terms of game stats, in total, when I push the button, the number 1 defense, it says in terms of game stats, are the Cincinnati Bengals. Chiefs are number 2. Buccaneers are number. That's what it says. Game stats. It says all NFL defense game stats 2018 regular season. Okay. Bengals are ranked number 1. And Raiders are ranked number 7. This is interesting. The Niners are ranked number 16th. Okay. So there's, I don't know, games, that's what it reads. And then it's total yards. When we get the total yards for defense, then we get, again, Cincinnati Bengals, and Kansas City Chiefs, Atlanta Falcons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm wondering, this is number 1 ranking. Number 1 in terms of, let's see, total yards. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. This is in reverse. I mean, they have this, look, they've got this total yards per game, but they have it in reverse order. I apologize. That's why I'm so whacked out here. The Bengals have the worst defense. They've given up 447 yards now per game. The best defense, I thought it was the Ravens, and it is. The Ravens have only given up 293.8 yards per game, followed by the Jaguars, followed by the Cowboys. Okay, so if you scroll up the other direction, the Raiders are ranked, you could turn around and say 26th in the other direction. This is wrong. I wish I could turn this around. If you go to NFL.com, statistics, all NFL, defense, total yards, 2018 regular season, by team category, and then press go, it gives it to you in reverse order. Okay? It gives it to you in reverse order. I repeat, it gives it to you in reverse order. Hence, what you heard from me. Now, let's see here. So, no, there you go. I'm glad you said it that way, Detective John, because it caused me to look even deeper. Cowboy Russell says, Michael Aileen, about time. Sorry, it's been years from now. Billy Jones says, Eagles got Golden Tate. Texans got the Demaryius Thomas from Denver. I can't, I was going to say, I can't believe they let him go. But on the other hand, the Broncos are really high on a guy that I had said the Raiders should get. Courtland Sutton! Doggone it. See, for the second year in a row, the Raiders don't get a guy I say they should get. Last year was Cam Robinson, and this guy winds up on the road to being an all-pro. Don't listen to me, man. Sad. Makes me mad. Anyway, you ever see Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Or Cameron says, makes me mad. Great movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Cowboy says, I think Aaron Rodgers is regretting re-signing with Green Bay. Michael Erling says, true Cowboy wrestler. Muhammad says, Oakland should release and ban Whitehead now. Ooh. Jamal Willis says, okay, I got you. Thank you. And Black Lion says, where is the defensive tackle from Sacramento? Good question. Malcontent says, Z, what's the latest Vegas update? The latest Vegas update right now is that they are building the north end. The structure's going up. As I said on Sunday, the key to determine where we're going to be or where we are in terms of whether they're right on schedule or behind is if on Christmas Day the structure looks like it does in a photograph that I have that comes from Mortensen. It's a it is a kind of a CAD, computer-aided design photograph. CAD, that's what CAD is. Okay, excuse me, it's got something in my eye. It's a computer-aided design photograph. So if it matches that or is slightly ahead of it, then there's a story. If it's slightly behind it, then the question is by how much? And we'll have a key to when we can really expect this thing to be open. In terms of, there's no information regarding sponsorships or naming rights, nothing new yet. I don't know if you saw my article on the tax problem, but that still exists. And Billy Jones says, Oakland had a bad run defense that got shredded by the Colts. Yeah. Michael Alien says, what do you think about Hugh Jackson being fired? It wasn't about race. Okay, I'll just have to say that. It was about Hugh, because if it were about race, I think he would have been let go longer than that. I mean, he really had an awful run. And I think, I'll tell you something that I said to a friend of mine in private, but I'll say it publicly. I think Hugh has to learn that, as a black head coach or a black leader, to not say I'm in charge. If you're the head coach, you're the head coach. Too many of us, when we get black African Americans, particularly men, we get into positions of authority. And this is true less so because we have so many people in positions of authority, and like Barack Obama, for example. But in areas where the person feels like maybe they got there because of the Rooney Rule or something like that, there's a tendency to have a chip on their shoulder that says, you don't respect me because I'm black. And I'll never forget, friend, boss of mine in the city of Oakland, I'm not going to put his name out there, but there was a dispute with the employees regarding a little thing like where they should have the meetings. I thought it was a little thing. Anyway, I'll never forget, he wanted to have the meeting in a certain area. It's a really silly argument, a discussion. And he said, I'm in charge. When you have to say you're in charge, that's when you lost everybody, because the implication is, you know what? You don't respect me, so I have to assert who I am to you. And when people do that, they end up taking actions against people that cause those people to lose respect for them. The best people are those who don't stand on ceremony, the best leaders. And I think Hugh got to a point where he felt threatened and, in a sense, acted out. Todd Haley's giving you a problem, fire him. You don't want to make a change in the offensive coordinator, I understand. But so what? If he is out there pointing the team in one direction and you're pointing the team in the other direction and you're the head coach, you don't need to explain to anybody your action. You need to fire him, okay? Hugh made a similar error when he's with the Raiders, although I thought it was benign. And what he did was he said after the 8-8 season that, I'm going to be in charge next year. It's my team. Well, okay, it's great that he felt that. And it's not in my personality to say that sort of thing. It should not have come out of his mouth. But it did come out of his mouth. Mark Davis, who really himself needs to practice feeling that understanding what it means to be in power without thinking that people disrespect him. Okay. So when you have someone who at times has that point of view, like Mark does, all right, and it is, he looks at what Hugh says, and he was already put in there by his dad and not himself. And then Hugh really didn't get along with Reggie McKenzie. You all that up in the spells. Okay, Hugh, you're gone. All right. Was it a stupid reason? Yeah, I think it was a stupid reason. Okay. Because, and this is where I hold Reggie McKenzie responsible for not, to be honest with you, working with an African-American peer and saying, hey, you know what? There aren't a lot of us here in terms of management. We need to work together. Here's how. You can't say that again. You don't say that again. I'll help you pave the way to create a championship team, and we'll grow together. But Reggie didn't say that. And I've talked to Reggie about this once. I have nothing but love for Reggie McKenzie. I'm only pointing out a truism that people don't talk about publicly. When you have people who are part of minority groups in positions of power at times, they feel like they have to overexert who they are as leaders. Again, the good news is that there's so many of us in so many positions that's less true. But the reason that happens is because a lot of us who are in positions of power don't take on mentorship roles for others coming along who are new. All right? And you get that. Hugh didn't get the mentor. Somewhere along the way, he missed the mentor, and it comes out. And so somewhere along the way, Hugh missed being taught the strength to lead. Like I've been blessed with a lot of great mentors. Oakland Mayor Hugh Harris, Oakland City Manager, Chief Administrative Officer Robert Bobb, who's one of the best public consultants in the country, if not the best. To make a long story short, what I learned was how to cultivate power. Okay. And I've said that on this show before, and I'll say it again. Cultivating power means building relationships with people who are like-minded. It's not exactly what you think. They're like-minded. Yeah, they have the titles, but you understand that you have a shared objective. And in working toward that shared objective, you give that person the silent respect of their title. For example, the mayor told me, Zinni, you want everybody to understand that you're in charge. All you need to do is sit next to me. If you have an idea or something, whisper in my ear. Don't just say, damn it, don't yell out. Because I was known as a bomb thrower, okay? Don't do that. You don't need to express that you're in power. Hugh doesn't need to express that he's the head coach. Everyone knows he's the head coach. So if there's anything I would love to teach Hugh Jackson, and I'm saying this publicly, it's how to understand how to cultivate power, how to build power, and how to command respect without saying it. When you have to say it, sorry, that's the kiss. That means that's the beginning of the end. All right, that's the beginning of the end. So that's what I think, Michael. Thanks for the question. CW says, my niece is a better defender than Whitehead. Cowboy Russ says, Z, you know who's not happy about the airing of the 49ers-Raiders game? No, I don't. Cowboy Russ says, Muhammad Ahmed, no, I agree. He was sorry when he played down here in Dallas with the Cowboys. You guys are all over that dude. Oh, this is funny. Muhammad says, CAD drawings. Oh my God, that brings back memories. And hey, thank you for the timeout, Jamal Mills, that you did that. Muhammad says, I didn't know Dallas had third-ranked defense. Props to Rob Marinelli. Missed him on Bears team. Ditto. And Muhammad says, do you think Guffner will go back to Cincinnati when Marvin Lewis retires? No. Cowboy Wrestler says, Muhammad, no, I agree. He was sorry when he played down here in Dallas. I got that comment. And then Cowboy Wrestler says, I like the players the Texans have. Me too. But I can't cheer for a team that's owned by the modern-day version of George Marshall. I love Bob McNair. Okay, I think Bob's a great guy. He was nice to me when I was bringing the Super Bowl to Oakland. I never got out of him the attitude that others claim was there. Maybe he's changed, but in my interactions with him, all I know about Bob is, to be honest with you, lately he's been very sick. Okay, I mean he's had skin cancer. He's fighting a good fight. All right, and he's hanging tough. Okay, so when I think of Bob McNair, that's what I think of. I think of, I don't think of the other way because I experienced Bob McNair from the position of being equal. We were both Super Bowl bidders. Okay, he owned his team. I represented a city. All right, that's the position I've been at. I think, and I'll just say this candidly, the big problem in the league is that. And this, again, has to do with the position of African-American leadership. You have a league that's mostly black, but unlike the NBA, which has a lot of great black executive leaders, you don't have a lot of those in the NFL. And it shows in terms of player executive relations, and that needs to change, okay? You had them. You had, for my friend Kofi Bonner, when he was chief administrative officer of the Cleveland Browns, when Mr. Lerner owned them. You had them, but not over the long haul. And it's one thing to have the Rooney Rule or minority coaching program, but it's quite another to want to engage and teach and mentor young black players to go through life. And I'm not a rich guy, but I have experiences to share that I think that I know are extremely valuable to anyone, as one example. Okay. And the one thing that I've observed is that, and I'll just say it because I didn't like the way, I don't like the way I was treated by this particular player, but it's happened a couple of times where black players are just knee-jerk disrespectful. And it's as if, they address you as if, hey, who are you? You're nothing. You didn't play for the league or whatever. And I'm a media guy. And my point is, and we all have a value. Okay. It's wrong for us to treat each other that way and yet talk about how much we don't like being discriminated against by society in general. Yeah, it's hard enough that way. Why make it hard the other way? So that's an issue that I have. There's an insecurity there that needs to be worked on, because I would point out the guys that I like, and I like because they are respectful to me. Maurice Jones-Drew, awesome person, always with a handshake, great conversation. Have never gotten an opportunity to talk with Mr. Jones-Drew as much as I would like. Okay, but he's just a Mitch, as they would say in Hebrew. Just a good guy. All right. Maurice Jones-Drew, outstanding. Charles Davis, former player, Ohio State broadcaster, friend of mine. Never, ever have not had a great interview with him at the NFL draft. Love talking to him. Just awesome person. Emailing back and forth, everything else. Great people. On the coaching level, David Shaw, Stanford. Nothing but love for David Shaw. And yeah, as an old blue who says beat Stanford, I did say that. All right. So there are a lot of, and of course, President Obama, who I've done opposition research for and volunteered for in the past. And, Barack is just a great person to be associated with and to do any level of work for. I'm just saying that just how it is. So my point is, there are a lot of great examples out there. All right. And Hugh, getting back to Hugh Jackson, I don't think was blessed with those examples. Or if they were around him, he didn't absorb it. Because you don't get into that situation like that. You don't get into a pissing match with your offensive coordinator. You're the head coach. If you don't like your offensive coordinator, switch. There's a lot of stories about Hugh that I've heard I can recite. It's not worth it. Hugh needs to understand what it means to cultivate power. When he has it, don't stand on ceremony. just do the job of making leaders of the people around him and being comfortable with them asserting themselves. But if they are not speaking his mind, if they're not communicating his language, do not hesitate to switch. He hesitated, and it cost him. Todd Haley cost him his job. So Muhammad says, Z, I don't know. Tomlin does what he says, but I think Tomlin wins losses allow him to say what he wants. I don't know what you mean there. Black Lion says, HNIC syndrome, laugh out loud. Yeah, that's this is okay. I like to bring that's inside baseball, Black Lion, but I'm going to bring the inside baseball out. HNIC head means head Negro in charge, and you know I don't Negro is a replacement for the other term which I don't like. I don't use. All right, and what that means is like, yeah, I'm the big I'm the King Kong. And there are those of us who get in that position, they act like it. And that's what I'm talking about. That's a less nuanced way, okay, of what I was talking about, all right? But that's the same thing. Thank you, Black Lion, for bringing a dose of reality into the situation. Oh, man. Muhammad says, the irony of the Hugh Raiders drama is Hugh and McKenzie agent was the same. Yeah. Cowboy Russ is not a surprise that that Chili Bowl, not surprised that Chili Bowl got offended by old Hugh. Muhammad says, I felt Hugh was saying I'm taking over the defensive side because that's where they dropped the ball. Michael Arnold says, do you think Gruden could hire Hugh? I think John Gruden and Hugh Jackson would do well together. I really do. They're both intelligent men, okay? And I think they respect each other. And as I understand it, they're friends. I don't see why not. Cowboy Russ says, Fox is not happy about airing the game tomorrow night. Interesting. Cowboy Russ says, Z, if you may, educate the listeners on who George Marshall. Educate. When I think of George Marshall, I'm thinking of the senator for some reason. But let me type George Marshall in because I'm not. Some reason, maybe it's my pea brain, maybe it's the excitement that I got over the email. That is another issue. George Marshall is an American statesman and soldier. He ran the U.S. Army to become chief of staff under Presidents Franklin D. Roosevelt and Harry S. Truman. You mean that guy? And he's best known for the Nobel Peace Prize, famous biographies. Is that the George Marshall you're thinking about? Is that it? The guy who formed the Marshall Plan? Is that the guy you're talking about? Okay, maybe I'm missing that one. Okay, John Acala says when December is the deadline for Raiders. Yeah, when in December? The end. Tervell. Okay, the end is actually the last meeting of the year for the Joint Powers Authority. John Acala says when in that's the date. Tervell Johnson says, actually, Bob McNair had a black GM for years. Yes. And he says, I think a lot of his comments are due to age. I don't think, you know what? I think you're right, but also I don't think that he meant malice. And you're thinking about Rick Jones. I think it was the Rick Jones. No, not Rick Jones. Rick Jones is the guy from the Hulk. I know him. I'm seeing, I'm just going to type Texans GM because I see him as sure as, and I've talked to him a bunch of times, and his wife got sick, and I think he had to make a change. Rick Smith, that's it. Rick Smith, the executive vice president of football operations of the Houston Texans. So he's, got a promotion as EVP, executive vice president. Rick Smith, great guy. Another guy who really understands how to cultivate power. And remember, Rick Smith was a GM with the Broncos as well. So, Rick Smith. So, that's my point, though. There's so many great examples of leaders, even I didn't mean to imply that the NFL lacked great black executive leaders, but there still aren't as many. You've got Rick Smith. You've got my friend Ed Goins, who I've known for a long time, who's the general counsel for the Seahawks. All right. So you've got Sashi Brown. You've got my friend who's the Dolphins PR hit man, great guy, quiet, does his job, almost stealthy, moves through the room with the greatest of ease. Big battleship that goes by, but in a quiet way. And so that's the best way. I think that's the best way to describe excuse me. That's the best way to describe him, I think, in how he does his job. And it does it very, very well. And he's sort of the right hand for Stephen Ross. Okay. That's the best way I can describe him as being the right hand. And he's never always even keel. All right. Always nice. Jason Jenkins, and always has a great word, you know. So, like I said, and he got promoted, senior vice president of communications and public affairs, community affairs, got promoted. So, like I said, there are a lot of great examples of African American leaders in the NFL that know how to cultivate power, and we need more of them. But on the other hand, to the point where I think we're about two more head coaches away, or three away, from saying that race is not the problem that it was. It's still a problem, but not to the. I mean, when you have a degree where you can just, for example, if you watch the Broncos and the Chargers, it's two African American coaches, or if you watch the Bengals and the Jets, okay, you know, Marvin Lewis and Todd Bowles. That's a great thing to be able to have a fluidity of personalities without respect to race. We're not quite there yet. I mean, when you have three other teams that haven't had black coaches before, have them, okay, then we're there. All right. And I would say, yeah, four other teams. So that would be a great advance. 4 or 5 other teams. That's a great advance that's a great start. Because then it becomes a great mix of people and players and everything else. Not quite there, but the good news is we're headed in that direction. We really are. Terrell Johnson says Ozzie Newsome, one of the best tight ends ever. Yep. After Ruth, absolutely. Oh, you're talking about the old Redskins owner, George Preston Marshall? Heck, I was thinking about you say old, I'm thinking about Edward Bennett Williams. That guy is a legendary lawyer who made good in law and became a Redskins owner. All right, it's 1:30, folks. I'm going to have to sign out. All right. See you all tomorrow. And another fantastic show. This has been great. All right. I'm going to get back to having it. Hey, everybody say a prayer for Barry. Close out with hashtag Barry. Barry Strong. No, that's not it. I meant Barry. Come on, Zinni. Get your act together. Barry Strong. There. And happy Halloween! I'll see you guys. All right, take care. See ya.
I got my email.